have you played Celeste or any other difficult fast-paced platforming game in the same vein? Well, I haven't played one. I am completely new to this genre, but I've always wanted to try one. So when a promising looking platformer with a roguelike twist came across my desk, I thought I had no choice but to check it out. Tower of Dreams is the second platforming game from developer Sour Lemon Studios, who seem to have a knack for thinking of fun ways to shake up the platforming genre, with their last game Palette Swap changing up its platforming levels based on color. Tower of Dreams is certainly not like anything I've played, and it has its weaknesses, but the core of this game is so strong it's hard not to recommend it. This is a very fun platforming game. The feel of the platforming is really good, and the level design is good too, and the game has some excellent presentation on top of that, featuring some beautiful animations and art and some really great music. I don't think every element of this game's roguelike nature lands perfectly, but there's nothing here that you will be fully complaining about. The main thought you'll have after being done with this is, damn, that was fun. So, how does Tower of Dreams work? What is a roguelike platformer? Well, you get dropped on the ground in this area with a shop and some other tidbits, with the main goal of climbing all 4 floors of this tower. That was dreadful. You gotta climb all 4 floors of this tower. The game progression should be familiar to any platforming lovers out there. Each of the 4 floors has a different aesthetic and features a signature gimmick like switches that will toggle red and blue platforms on and off to try and make your jumping a bit more calculated. Clearing a floor will consist of getting through 3 levels chosen from a random pool for each floor. It's important to know that these levels you play are handcrafted and not procedurally generated. So the quality is there, and I really mean that because these levels are quite well designed. But that also does mean that you will get a sense of repetition when playing these, as a lot of the levels you play in one run you will also run into during the next run, because the pool of levels is quite small. That is totally not a bad thing at all. So much work went into this game. I'm just more saying it like a fact, just to keep in mind. I'm deliberately trying to use neutral language here because this can be a good thing or a bad thing depending on the moment. Because getting familiar with a level and skilled with it is always fun in any game, as you try to get through it faster and faster. And you know, these are pretty good levels, but on the other hand, it does sort of lay a lot of the responsibility to be a good roguelike on the item system, and those items are interesting. These items influence every other part of this game and sort of change how you'll look at it. During your runs, you'll be finding these items which are sort of like relics or whatever equivalent there are in regular roguelikes. Basically something that you can pick up that will influence how your character plays that run. Some of these pickups will give you an active weapon to use, like a throwable projectile or a dash that shoots you into the next tower over. These active gadgets in particular are extremely fun and will completely morph how you traverse these levels. It is so fun to use these things that you pick up, even if it's just as simple as an extra jump. They really morph what you do. The other items you can find are passive items that will give you stat transformations like extra crit for enemies. A lot of these do feel useful and combine nicely with your active gadgets. These items do make platforming a whole new level of fun, and you do come across them pretty regularly. In item rooms that may appear through a pipe every level or 2, and in the shop that may also appear through a pipe every level. The shop isn't a great place to get items unless you already know what they do by looking at them, because you don't get told what they will give you until you buy them, but finding an item room will always give you enough space to think if that item you find will actually be useful to your build, or if you really want to use a different active gadget instead of the one you already have. The items and level design interact very well to create a game that is often quite clever and satisfying. The level obstacles like spikes or cannons or enemies feel threatening at pretty much every moment. There's always a risk you could get hit and lose some health, getting closer to that game over and restarting the run, which can sometimes be annoying because there isn't too much level variance, but the items can help shake that up and the game doesn't last long enough for its solid gameplay foundation to become tiresome. The point is, this is really fun and the items are creative, and the roguelike loop is slowly getting stronger throughout the run, while the levels also take very noticeable steps up in difficulty works well. There's even some outside meta progression where you spend your gems you pick up in the levels to unlock more max health or more item options when you choose a random one at the start of the run. However, there is a silver lining to all of this, and that is with the right items you can just completely break the game, and it's not that hard to do. Now that's pretty common for roguelikes. It is normally very fun to become really powerful and shred everything. The power fantasy in these games can be a very central thing. However, in a roguelike platformer, power fantasy means not engaging with the level, because if you're getting stronger and more capable, then what do the platforms matter? What do the enemies matter? Good question. Take the gem gun for example. An active item that lets you fly almost infinitely when shooting downwards, and can make you ascend very rapidly when touching the wall, which could hypothetically, of course, I never did this, lets you skip almost the entirety of the tough as nails extreme enemy and platforming gauntlet final level. As long as you pick up gems along the way, you can float and fly up as much as you want to with this weapon, because it would not consume them very fast at all. And so when you combine that power with the passives I had, where I had an extra jump and could heal myself extra in the run if I hit a crit on an enemy, I could basically not die, and I did not have to engage with the level at all. Now, of course, this was all my own doing. I chose to play the game like that when given the tools. However, there are a few tools that will make this experience a lot easier and really trivialize a lot of the challenge, which sucks because platforming is the best part of this game. It is such a competently made platformer, so engaging with that is the most important part of this experience. I think some balancing may be needed to make this game a bit less breakable. You can make yourself strong and still have to engage with the level design, which is when this game is at its best and the roguelike systems actually synergize with the platforming, but there are also those times where you're too strong and it all falls apart. I don't have any bad feelings towards any of that because this is still a really fun game, but it doesn't always work. For casual runs anyway, there are some endgame goals like doing the harder nightmare runs, or trying to do a run where you have to get S rank on every level by getting all the gems and not getting hit once, which is actually a really good challenge. But I don't think everyone who plays this game will engage with those challenges. I wouldn't say all of this is a big problem, it's just kind of funny and something to keep in mind when playing. You do sometimes have to make the active choice to not fully ball out and try to keep yourself grounded to the level design. Tower of Dreams is still just really fun. That music is killer, especially that main theme that blasts at you. That's just a memorable track, really good there. The art is also astounding, it's a really good looking game and it feels so incredibly snappy as well. I'm gonna keep saying it, but the foundation and the controls feel really good. It's very fun to play, you just have to make a point to actually play it and not go overboard if you want the challenge to stay there. I would recommend you go out and try it, it's a good time. Thank you for listening to this review. I should hopefully see you soon this time instead of however long it was, month, I don't know. Let's wish to the genie that I'm gonna upload more. There we go. Alright, see ya.